The Grand Canyon. Its timeless geology alone makes it one of the wonders of the world. But there's a hidden mystery in this majestic landscape that makes the canyon even more fascinating. Evidence of an ancient chamber full of artifacts that might rewrite the history of our planet and our civilization. This is the curious case of Seth Tanner, a mystery in the Grand Canyon. Did archaeologists discover ancient Egyptian-style artifacts in a secret chamber in the canyon? Some of the world's top remote viewers were assigned to investigate exactly that. In April 1909, the Arizona Gazette reported on an archaeological expedition to the heart of the Grand Canyon. The paper reported it was funded by the Smithsonian Institute and told of Egyptian artifacts being discovered there. The story says the team found an underground network of tunnels containing ancient relics, statues, and even mummies.
The story behind Seth Tanner is a story that goes back over 100 years. It's a story of some mysteries within the Grand Canyon. Seth Tanner was a homesteader who lived in the canyon. He was a Mormon who was sent there on a mission and ended up staying. And the myth or the legend is that Seth Tanner stumbled upon a secret ancient cave. In that cave he found Egyptian artifacts, mummies, and some secrets that the powers that be did not want known. And when the Hopi Indian found him in their sacred cave, it was a Hopi sacred cave, they blinded him. Normally they would kill anybody who went in that cave, but because he was supposed to have a couple Indian wives, and they liked him, they said, "We're not going to kill you, but we cannot let you ever see this again," and they blinded him with a potion. And from then on, he lived in a cave for a couple years where the Hopi brought him food and water. Ultimately, he turned into a guide for people trying to find this lost place, this sacred site with potentially lost treasure. And that is the complete story of Seth Tanner. For a long time, I've been into discovering the mysteries of our monetary system, our Federal Reserve System, and I have done a lot of work into the gold that was announced on the front page of the New York Times in 1912. Billions of ounces of gold, front page story that was hidden. And so in order to get there, I've done a lot of research on the Grand Canyon, and when you do that, you find out there's all kinds of mountains or pyramids within the Grand Canyon named after Egyptian gods. And it's amazing the amount of Egyptian artifacts that are found in the Grand Canyon. So I was really interested in whether or not the Seth Tanner story was true, because it would have been the first account of some kind of hidden mystery within the Grand Canyon. He would be the guy to see it first before it was changed by a few articles that were posted in 1909 in the Arizona Gazette about a huge underground complex that was built by, they believed, Egyptians or people from the Far East at the time, but this was 1909. They didn't have a lot of information. So that's how I got interested in giving the target to the remote viewers, is that if they could tell me what Seth Tanner saw, I think that would be the purest image of what is really within the Grand Canyon.
Weir enlisted the help of Cryptoviewing, which secretly gave out a blind remote viewing task to 3 viewers. None of the viewers knew it had been generated by Bix. Remote viewing is a form of psi functioning on demand, developed by U.S. military intelligence. The tasking was cued to what caused Seth Tanner to go blind. What did he see? What was in the secret chambers that he allegedly discovered? Here are the original remote viewing sessions. The work was completed before they were given any feedback.
I wanted to share these results with you. So let's get straight to it. What I'll do is I'll see if I can share my screen with you a second. Bear with me here. So what I've wrote here on this session is that I initially know what this target is at the front. I knew it was a male, and I knew he had a medical problem. So what I did with this session is I tried to stay away from that information, and I tried to only really focus on the cause of this medical problem. Okay, so we start off here with my data, and it says that there is lots of emotion, there's lots of energy. The emotion is panicked, suppressed, emotional, confused, elated. Someone's scared, they're anxious, and they're afraid. And there's a pulsating energy. It's hot, it's direct, it's focused, and it's pinpoint. And this feels like a medical procedure. I then moved on to some ideograms, and I had an ideogram of land and structure, which was solid and man-made. There was a structure which was man-made, and there was lots of energy, which was bright, intense, powerful. It felt created, it was moving, and it was enveloping. And this felt like a guess in my mind of some kind of plasma at this stage. Now, we're moving on to page 3. I felt that there was a life form and movement at the target. And the movement felt like it moved above. It felt like a strong motion, full of energy, and it moved upwards. I had an AOL or a guess here of a UFO event. So I did another ideogram down the bottom there. And this came out as life, which was scared, anxious, confused, alone, and it was in an outside natural location. Going on to page 4 there, I had a couple of sketches. The bottom one kind of shows a stick figure of some kind of male, and then there's these rays of light energy, which feels microscopic, and it feels like it was a focused attention. And moving on to page 5, I went into the stage 4 matrix. I started looking at the life. I felt that they were unhappy here. They were scared, anxious. They had lots of busy, complicated thoughts. This was a surprise event. This was a complete surprise to them what was happening. And it feels like a life, and they felt scared, almost like a rabbit in the headlights kind of scared. It feels like a definite outside location. It was natural. And it felt like this was happening at night. Felt like this life form was involved in an interaction, and it feels like this interaction was some kind of surprise or accidental event. There feels like some kind of interaction going on as well, something arcane, but it feels like there's a technology involved in this as well. So it feels esoteric in nature, but it also feels technological. I felt that there was a lot of light, which was white, and there was lots of flowing energy here as well. Moving even deeper, I did a sketch here, and it looks like a life form enveloped in some kind of lighter energy. And I wrote there, this feels like a life caught in a torch beam, but the beam feels different. It contains data, which feels like a message or communication. The life is very scared and fearful. So it felt like this life form was involved in some kind of event that was a communication in some way, which felt a little bit strange, a little bit esoteric. Stage 4 again, on page 6 here, I look at this event. It says it's a surprise event. It feels almost accidental. It feels like a life that is in the wrong place and time, and gets involved with some kind of advanced technology. This initially tries to alter the memory and communicate data with the life, but the technology or energy used for this and the mental state, which is fearful and lots of anxiety of the life, causes something to happen in the life, and it's almost like something clicks or breaks. I have a sensation that life goes through white, foggy vision, and I had an AOL or guess here, some kind of like laser or maser weapon or something weird like that. It felt like some kind of energy particles. So I wrote here at the bottom my sense is of this target, and I don't sense any malice here. It just feels like an accidental event, a set of circumstances that cause a problem. It feels like there's lots of fear and anxiety mixed with the communication event, which feels like a ray of energy, and a pre-existing body problem or condition causes the person to have this medical problem. So yeah, it feels like a life form in a highly stressful state, and it kind of made something pop. Moving on to page 7 here, I have a real sense of technology that communicates through a projected ray of light, like a non-harming laser. And I got an AOL or guess here of alien, because it felt yeah, it felt very esoteric and very strange to me, very non-physical. And I wrote here as well, this feels strangely physical and also non-physical, as if the technology can shift when needed from one state to another. It's very esoteric. I wrote there esoteric as well. I did a little sketch here of a white, fluffy, cloud-like structure. I felt like this was probably internal in the life, and it might have been a tumor or something of some kind. I also felt there was a hidden message or a wiped message or a communication going on. It felt like a two-way interaction here between something non-physical and esoteric and the life form that had the problem. And it feels like it was an accident. The technology felt very artificial, very non-human, almost artificial. I got here, or a bit like an alien or an AI type, very to the point. I then have a final sketch which looks like a life form with light rays either coming to or from his head or his mind, and then there seems to be some kind of vision of a ball-like, kind of semi-transparent, very lit object or shape that was changing shape and form. And I have an AOL here, or I guess a big glowing eyes again. So that's the target in a nutshell, really. It feels like a life form that was involved in an accidental event, totally accidental to it. He was outside, it was in a natural location. It felt like it was at night. Felt like some kind of two-way communication went on with some kind of force, light, energy there. And that had some kind of esoteric or non-physical components to it, but it also felt quite technologically advanced. Almost like this is a technology that we don't yet understand. This happened almost like an altered state or something very strange. The anxiety and the stress and the fear in the person that had this accidental event mixed with the technology or light energy and a pre-existing medical condition that wasn't known caused something to accidentally go pop or break. And that led, in my opinion, to the medical condition that I was asked to look for the cause of.
In Daz's session, he talks about all this information coming. And truthfully, what the Hopi legend is that because Seth Tanner saw this place, he could never return. Normally they would kill him, but he got all the information, and then they had to blind him. And when you see Daz's information, it's like that's exactly kind of what Daz is saying. He saw some kind of a ray or a download of information, and then there was a physical problem with the viewer's eyes, and it's spot on. It's exactly what happened to Seth Tanner.
Viewer number 2, Rock Archie in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right. This is pretty unusual for an ideogram. I don't pick up this type of energy, but what I got was a burst of surprise, or these are like eyes, and possibly I don't know, a head around it. But let's see what else we can find on target W63SQN. All right, I'm picking up a plateau-like steep bluff descending down to, it's water, feels like water. There's something here, I think. I hear people. All right, we're going to take another shot at this, but a plateau-like terrain feature, steep bluff, sloping down to a flat area, but it seems like this is liquid or water or something, water. I'm picking up a structure or structure-like. We're gonna probe a little more over there, and it's fresh-smelling, airy, and I sense people, motion, commotion, possibly. All right, here's my visual on W63SQNLT, this segment of the targeting. I'm going to call this Life Human 1. I'm getting an older man. He's supine and seems inactive, but yeah, I think it's not a death, or I think this person is alive. I hear shuffling or movement around them, I'm not picking up that he's in distress. He's just very still, and whether I'm missing a death event or not, I'm trying to probe that. Let's see. No, I got an old, let's just stick with Life Human, old, inactive, supine. I'm getting smells of sort of an unpleasant sour, like if you went to your great-grandparents' house and maybe smell some old stuff. The unpleasant odor. Shuffling, I'm getting a sense of shuffling or movement around this person. So all right, let's probe a little more. Let's see what. As I took a visual on this, my first impression was this twisting, tight, turning. Seems like a river. Seems like a river. But then I get this other feature, and it's part of the undulating or flowing, like you know, more like a snake. So it's interesting. Snake, river. All right, so let me cap this. An undulating terrain feature, right? Bends and curves, sharp bends and curves. It's flowing. As I was getting into this, though, that flowing like turned lively on me, and I've just got to say, snake-like. Fresh, airy. So this is outdoors. Maybe I got snakes around the river or something. It's part of a wall or part of a separation or barrier. It's heavy, it's hard. I get a sense that there's a lot of dust and dirt in this environment, and I'm going to categorize this as Life Human 2, female. She is, I'm not doing her justice. She's, I think, somewhat attractive, but either middle age or middle ages. Either middle age or middle ages. Seems focused, stern, planning, plotting, scheming. And I don't have the detail on what, but something's in process here. All right, let's see what's going on with the other. We call these artifacts. I had some artifacts from the session. This is just a quick shot on artifact, something that was sticky. All right, forgive my rendition of this, but it's pretty cool actually. I got a double-headed eagle, and what's interesting about, I've never drawn a double-headed eagle, so the head there looks sort of funky. I'll check that out, but I'm getting a sense that this is an emblem, and what really stood out were these. I'm picking up jewels and I'm picking up some vertical lines, and my impression over and over is that I got 2 vertical lines, but I keep on gravitating to 3. I don't know if that's an AOL or what. I don't hear anything really. I don't smell anything. This is a figure, an emblem, a flag, or a, you know, but it seems important.
In rocks data, he nailed it as well. He got the landscape. He got the artifacts. He got the double-headed eagle, which ties right in line with both Egyptian artifacts as well as what's going on in the back of the $1 bill with the pyramid and the Great Seal of the United States. It's all blending together into one big picture that we are not being told what is in the Grand Canyon, and it's exciting to have an RV session that really opens that up and makes people say, hey, let's take another look at this. I know we've looked at it for years, but let's really take a close look.
And viewer 3, Dick Allgire in Honolulu, Hawaii.
I've been working this target for a few days now. I've been wrestling with it, doing paper sessions, and I have a lot of images and a lot of thoughts and a lot of disjointed stuff that's just bouncing around in my head. And I've got a lot of images to deal with and try to put out in a coherent way, even though I don't have what I really think is a coherent story behind them. I think this target is not a crypto, this is not related to anything to do with cryptocurrency. I think this is somebody's looking at a mystery. They want to know something about something. And I'm not sure if I'm able to answer the question, so I'm just going to draw and describe what I've been seeing as I work this. And my first strongest impression is a big place. It would be a high ceiling, and this is an enclosed place, so it's enclosed. It's not outdoors. Like I said, high up there ceiling. I see a number of people down here engaged in some movement and activity. Multiple humans. And the sense is real strong to me is that there are corridors or passageways that lead into this place, and there are other ones that are ancillary that are go off in different directions. So it's a complex place that's enclosed with different corridors, rooms. I don't want to say tunnels. They're more like antechambers. Need to get a probing tool on this. The light is not real bright, and it's artificial light. It's not natural sunlight. So I don't get a sense of any windows. A dim natural light. What are these people doing? Anyway, that's my general sense. Is a complex place where one area is big, high ceiling. The feel of this is man-made, but man-made in a natural setting, if you know what I mean. It's like it's constructed. People made all this. It's not like these aren't natural lava tubes or tunnels or caves. They've been purposely constructed. So that's the general place, but there's a lot else going on. And let me clean this off right now. One of the passageways that I see has a more enclosed feel, longer, like a longer corridor, and people are walking through this. And here I get a sense of a departure point for some type of travel or journey. That this, it's not an airline concourse, but it's a place where people, there's a purpose of it that has to do with transportation, transport. I see this was a strong visual imagery for me, and even though it was strong, I don't know if I'm seeing actual people embracing or an artistic impression of people embracing. So it could be a statue, a carving, a lithograph, some type of, it could even be, well, there's a definite energy to it. It gives off some type, I don't know if it's sexual, spiritual, metaphysical. That imagery evokes something very powerful of two human forms somehow embraced, and it's linked to something. And I don't think it's, you know, it's like human sexuality, duality of the spirit and the physical, or yeah, something like that. And they I don't think it's a depiction of people. Like I said, it might be a statue or a carving or some type of artwork. And I've seen other artistic imagery that this is more colorful. Others are more black and white, and I get, you know, human forms, maybe animal, birds or animals, human depictions. And this comes to me as kind of artistic symbology. I want to say petroglyphs, but they seem too ornate. To me, a petroglyph is something that might be etched in a rock surface, but they're kind of primitive. And these feel a lot more like not primitive. Something's gone wrong with my camera. I need to stop. This is really fucking hard to do when the camera, the SD card had a problem, and I had to stop and think of technical things when I'm in the middle of this. Like, I need a second to get my, I was talking about artistic things that I see. Human forms, animals, beautiful arty depictions, and their petroglyph comes to mind, hieroglyph, but better than, you know, a step up from that. They're like fine artwork, and this one is a centerpiece. These humans right here. I'm a little disjointed on this. Now, as I look at this target, I see different groups of humans doing different things, and it suddenly dawns on me that it might be different times. For example, okay, the imagery that I see is people like this doing some task, like his back. This is I take it in this big room, and there's others over here doing something else. They may be lifting or fitting something. Other are like walk, carry, bring things. So a lot of activity in this place. And this is a sense of craftsman. Craftsman, but at the same time, laborers. So, okay, there are laborers, there are guys that like carry this heavy thing in, fit it, make sure it's assembled correctly. The joints have got to be right. And then there's others that may be doing like carving, chiseling, others who are doing fine detail work, like a big project to make something at this place that is, and they're very, very goal-oriented, very serious about what they're doing, getting the job done. There's no, I get no humor to this. This is like dead serious, doing a job. But some are doing construction, some are doing intricate fitting work, and some are doing artistic work. So, and it seems to be like the construction first, but then the construction's ongoing, the detail work is simultaneous with a lot of the construction. So it might be over a pretty long period of time. It takes a while to do this. So there, this would be at the original time of when this is being assembled. And then there's an event with other people where some type of energy event or something causes them to, you know, like, what is that? It's a, I can't get a grip on exactly energy, smoke, not a fire. I don't think this is a flammable place. Something happens that causes some people to like step back, like get back, like danger, flee, don't go near that, or like they're not comfortable, they're uncomfortable being there. And then at a whole other time, there's a new set of people here now. And this would be later. And the new set of people first look at it, and I have more about the first view that I'm going to draw on in a second. But so there's people that come in and they view it, and yeah, take measurements, check the angles, chip something off and do some kind of testing, scientific stuff. They want to detail it, catalog it, draw it, make charts of it, make diagrams of it. So there's an inspection. And I don't know if this is at the time it was completed, or there's guys doing a thorough inspection of this, and then they're impressed by it, and then they want to, I see them like carrying parts of it away, dismantling, like let's take it over here, box it up. And I don't know why they wouldn't just leave it in place. Why does it need to be taken apart? There's one really striking visual that I got on this one, and that would be coming into a chamber, And I'm feeling what the people feel who first saw this was like kind of awe and inspiration. And what they see is a passageway like this, and then some steps that go up, and not a big incline, but somewhat of an incline. And this is enclosed, and then they're in a big place, multi-story. And up here is something that glows like this, and it's a centerpiece of it glows with a certain I want to say opaque translucence. So you're I don't think it's actually what's the word, incandescent, it's not self-illuminating. It's not a light, but it has an effect of, like, there's rays, something with colorful rays. And my sense of it is the Sistine Chapel meets the Denver airport with Egyptian tomb raiders all rolled into one, that kind of thing. This is very beautiful. This is a centerpiece of this complex, something that was there like that. And I also see one visual I got in the early Playfair that I've resolved out now. Initially looked like a vertical thing that has stuff off to the side, like jutting off. And I originally thought there's a lot of stuff on it. There's a lot of different angles, and again, this is an artistic thing. This is a sense of carved. The thing that came to my mind was like a totem pole, but it's not a totem pole. I think it might be more of an complex obelisk that looks like that. But the edges here, when you look at it, they blend into the background, and what you see more than the edges is the thing that's in the middle, the irregular artwork that's on it. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. And this has religious, metaphysical, artistic, historical, tells a story, that kind of thing. I feel everything I look at here feels in an enclosed space, but a big place. Okay, so there are some places that feel long and corridor-like, and there are some that are bigger chambers, and there's one that's really this one is really, and the artwork is colorful. It's very well crafted. It's meticulous detail. It has meaning, but I don't know what the meaning is. It's like this target might be a connection to a lost civilization, or lost history target, that kind of thing. And I don't know if there's an answer I'm supposed to get, if I, like, is it is there a specific artifact that has a meaning? Is it who made it? What was done with it? Where it is? That's about where I am on this now. W63S-QNLT. There you have it. Oh. I just remembered something that that I saw that is totally out of context for all this other stuff. And that would be, it looks like a casing that was probably metallic. And inside of it is a very complex, like almost a turbine type of things with complex machinery, but it's broken somehow. Like the casing is opened, something happened to it, but in here is a machine that I don't understand. It's has to do with generation of some type of energy. I don't know if it seemed stationary at the time. It's broken. It's like I saw it as being cracked and opened, and you can see kind of like a jet engine that I've never seen, like an early turbine with some type of maybe blades that go this way, stuff here. Some complex machinery that is, at the time I see it, broken and not functioning, but it did function and it was energetic, and it may be a source of what someone earlier, when I saw the guys going, oh, danger, get away, we're not comfortable near this, it may have been this that they weren't comfortable with. There may have been like a malfunction or a runaway thing, something where this got too energetic, overheated, or didn't function as it was going to function. And another sense about all this is that it is old. It's old, but it's sophisticated. I don't want to say old and modern. It's old, but what's the word? Advanced. Old, but technological, more than it should be for its time period. That's interesting. I can't I can't see why this would be in a dugout chamber, and like who brought it here, how did it get here, and what did it do? And it may be some, you know, you jump around so much, but that was interesting. I needed to add that.
The jet engine that Dick drew, he said it seemed out of place. It absolutely was out of place. The story behind it is that in 1956, two large commercial aircraft crashed. It was the largest commercial death in the airline industry ever. And it was two airplanes that came out of Los Angeles, one going to Kansas City and the other going to Chicago. And for some reason, miraculously, they supposedly crashed over at this exact spot in the Grand Canyon where the Egyptian artifacts were supposedly found. I've done a lot of research, and what happened was it wasn't a crash. They brought in a lot of machine parts, a few jet engines as well, But what they needed to do, they needed to shut down that part of the Grand Canyon, bring in, for 2 weeks in 1956, they brought in large heavy lift helicopters to bring something out of the Grand Canyon. These helicopters were going all day long, and I think there were about a dozen of them, all day long, all night long, pulling things out of the Grand Canyon. They said they were moving parts of aircraft, but in actuality, I think it was a cover story. They did put parts of aircraft in there, a cover story for bringing out artifacts out of this sacred spot.
I need to do some more work on this target. The tasker, apparently I haven't fulfilled all the elements of interest in this. I think we want to know where and why. It's always difficult. It's like you run a marathon and then somebody says, nice marathon, can you do a 100-yard dash too? I'm like, okay. So this target has been, I've been immersed in this for a few days, and stuff keeps coming to me. And one thing that I want to add, and this is just my own, for my own benefit, is this thing that I get, that I have seen. That right there is the most striking visual. That like I keep being drawn to that. That's the cool thing at the target, and it is. That's kind of the color. It may be a little more golden, but it has this brightness to it, and these rays, something about the rays has meaning, has power, has significance. This is maybe the central, I want to say, shrine or focal point, great artistic work, something that you would be led to this. This is where, this is the, and why is it here? Anyway, that's man-made, but imbued with special powers. Man-made by someone with a sacred sense of how to enfold something sacred into something man-made that looks really pretty. So that's the, I keep seeing that. That's the recurring visual of this target. Now, where is this? Well, all the work I've done so far has been in an enclosed space, like tunnels, not caverns, but chambers. So, you know, what's it look like from a above view outside? I'm going to try to see that. Where is it? Not from a visual sense, but just from things that are bouncing around in my head. The things that bouncing around in my head are like a chamber underneath the Sphinx, planet Mars. If I do a visual look, I get, see, the land here, if I get a sense of the land, it would be compressed sedimentary strata, sandstone, sediment rock that is geologic and very old, and geologic layers. So it's like embedded in that kind of thing. And again, if I look at the colors of it, reddish brownish, Mars kind of barrenness. I don't get much around, but there could be some water nearby. I see this diagonal shape like this. These are sheer rock walls. It's a vast area in the distance. These rock walls meet down here. I don't think it's Mars. It has a kind of a dry desert feel, but there could be water nearby. This is layers of geologic rock, sedimentary rock. This place is okay. Inside here, like an entrance, and it would be, I don't know if carved out of this, but somewhere in a man-made in a natural place that looks like this. This doesn't want to clean off. The pen is not a very erasable pen. Okay. Why is it here? It's guarded. It's important. Why is it guarded? It's guarded because a couple reasons. Looting, they don't want things taken out. Also a sense of hidden knowledge, like don't discover the secrets. And why here? It reminds me of some work I did on the Great Pyramid. Now this isn't the Great Pyramid, I don't think, but this like underground under the Sphinx, secret trove under the Sphinx, but it's not the Sphinx. Something kind of like that, a secret trove in a place. But why here? Well, because it's remote, it's inaccessible, but there's another reason. And the reason is what folds into, like, these thoughts bounce around in my head, like, okay, the pyramid, and this is what I got on working the pyramid, is like, here's this location, and it's part of some kind of grid, okay? There's ley lines, energy lines, some type of force field that I don't understand that connects like a web. This is really deep, connects like a web. So there's another location over here, and it radiates out. There's another one over here, and it radiates stuff out. So these are connected, and these are connected, and this is why this is here, but it also happens to be a very remote, inaccessible place. These may be actually three-dimensional nodes, so there could be a node that it comes out here. I'm drawing this on a board, but there could be one here, there could be one over here, and they're all connected, and it's something to do with geometrical energy. That's what I say. This is way over my head, but that's very interesting. This is nothing I know anything about. The thing with the golden rays, maybe I don't see these as light. When I perceive them, I see them more as just force fields. They're not glowing, but maybe the rays of that and the rays of this are connected. You know, trying to describe something that is just at the edge of your awareness that you can't put into words, like, oh, it's kind of this, but that's about the best I can tell you on this. Artifacts, hidden knowledge, force fields, connected energy grids. This is certainly, most definitely, a woo-woo target. So if that's enough woo for you, I will woo-woo off into the ozone with this one. There you go.
This finding is something that it should shake the foundation of what we believe was our past, because we've been lied to for so long. It's almost embarrassing with the amount of information we have that we still believe that very early man created the most amazing architectural feats in human history.
What this remote viewing data seems to indicate is that there was indeed something very unusual in the Grand Canyon. Something that indicates the real history of life on this planet has been hidden from all of us.